Hi, my name is Jacob Root.
Great job, Jacob.
All right, my name is Jacob Rood. I am the founder and CEO of Max Moment. There.
That was good. What's your name?
Joey.
Last name?
Joey.
Okay.
Joey in the house.
My name is Aaron. I am part of Max Moment.
Huge.
What's your name?
My name is Justin Raspin.
Where are you from?
Nobody else got asked
I
that.
am
Why are you
full of
asking me
feelings.
this?
My name is Ben Colton. I am the CFO of Max Moment.
So it all started 3 years ago. We were running the on-campus car club, RIT Car Club. I was the president. I had members of our team as my executive board.
And that's where I met some other special individuals who bought similar vehicles, such as a Focus ST and a Focus RS.
We just liked hanging out with each other, doing meets on Friday evenings after school.
I have my background in racing, and I've been racing since I was 14. I've always wanted to do more than just drive.
During our senior year, we decided that it would be really fun to go endurance racing.
And, you know, we're in college at the time. We don't have any money. We can't do anything outlandish. So, you know, where do 6 broke college kids go racing and start a racing team? Well, Lemons is probably the closest answer, or the only answer you can get.
So I've always wanted to race as a kid, and so I was talking with Jacob about it. We were catching up one day. I was literally driving to run errands, I believe. Jacob was texting, was like, yeah, we're starting a Lemons team up there, and I'm like, dang, I've always wanted to try Lemons. Like, it sounds like a super funny time, get me on track. And Jacob was like, well, you want to join? And I was like, okay.
None of us wanted a truck. In fact, the main thing we wanted was a Volvo. We knew we needed a car fast. And then this Chevy S10 popped up for sale on Marketplace in Rochester. A couple of us went to downtown Rochester, where this guy who ran, I think, a photo studio, used it as a work truck. I think it was listed for like $1,200 or $1,300, and we talked him down to $800. They took it home. They went to go park it, and they just started discovering all of the things that are wrong with the truck.
Okay, for the record, I have the key. There's no key.
The very start was building it. The garage was small, it was tight, it was cold. It was not a fun facility to be working in.
Unlit, unheated, about the size of the truck with no room on either side.
One day, it was sub-zero, coldest day we'd seen in years, coldest day on record, and we had to do the transmission on the truck. And I remember wearing 3 jackets and 2 pairs of socks and everything, my knees locked and frozen. I had a tool in my car, and Jacob had said to me at one point, hey, can you go grab it from your car? And I said, yeah, sure. And I just didn't move, standing there, just waiting, putting my time in. I was like, I can't move my knees right now.
We spent the 14 days up until pit race frantically trying to fix this truck because it was not ready. It was super cold. Everybody was super drained because it was right in the middle of midterms. We had to teach Evan how to drive stick 2 days before the race or the night before.
Jacob did indeed be the one to teach me fully how to drive stick. It was fun. It was like 10:30 at night, like a week before the race. The truck was finished, and Jacob's like, alright, you're learning how to drive stick now. I don't want to be the one to blow the transmission and ruin this event for everyone.
I briefly visited the garage. I think it was a week or 2 before the race, and it was a fucking shit show. and I wanted nothing to do with it. So I left after like 40 minutes.
Favorite memory? I don't know.
Most memorable, worst memory.
Yeah, there's not too many good memories of that truck, to be honest. I was always kind of terrified of that thing. I never thought it was a good idea. Once I saw the rust holes in that frame, I just didn't even want to get into that thing.
He's the Intimidator. He's the 7-time NASCAR Winston Cup champion. And now, for the first time ever, America's favorite race car driver, Dale Earnhardt. Come on, buddy. Come on. White flag. Come on, man. Come on, come on. The most anticipated moment in racing. If John Elway could win the Super Bowl, Dale Earnhardt said he could win the Daytona 500. And if he comes around under caution to complete this final lap,
The weekend started essentially with us going to pick up these two absolutely obscene RVs. One of them did not have a working toilet, and the generator either was broken or we didn't want to use it because we didn't want to pay for the hours on two generators in two different RVs. Stashed them with like $300 worth of food that somebody had run and gotten from Costco or Walmart or something. I can't imagine what the people on I-90 thought of us cruising down the road with two stupid RVs with a race truck with a truck on the back of it. I had never been there before, so I had no idea where we needed to take any of the RVs. We found like some random corner of the paddock. I had pre-registered us for the test day that they were doing on Friday, more in hope than anything, because this truck was completely untested. Had never done more than, I think, like 25 miles an hour, had never turned a lap on a racetrack with any of us in it, and had a brand new everything that hadn't passed any sort of safety inspection. Friday morning comes around and, you know, we've done our best. We've read all the rules 16 times. If we don't pass tech, like, we can't drive. We can't do anything. Like, we don't get in if we don't pass the tech inspection. One, we had the wrong cage padding. We found out that pool noodle was an unacceptable form of padding. And additionally, we had a rust hole in the firewall of the truck. We took somebody's old New Jersey license plate, cut it up, put RTV on the back side of it, and stuck it to the firewall where the holes were. To this day, I have orange RTV on my race suit from trying, like kicking it with my foot, trying to get it to adhere, because it was like 20 minutes before the tech inspection. We got laughed at for a pretty long time by the Lemons folks for very crudely spray painting the number 3 on the side of our poorly themed S10 race truck. And I think after we passed the tech inspection, I went out for maybe 10 minutes. We really should have done some track testing prior to the pit race event.
The drive shaft was horribly out of balance, was humming like crazy, and the truck had a speed governor. And since we had the tiny little bottle cap Miata wheels, it was even slower than it thought it was. So the speedo would say 90, and we knew it was 75.
So you went 75 the entire race. You couldn't go over 75 miles per hour.
No.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
When race time came and I got COVID, you know, it sucked, but deep down, a little bit relieved.
He got COVID, couldn't make it. Jacob said to me, hey, we got an extra slot. You want to drive? I said, sure.
That whole weekend, I think, could be described as the worst possible way to introduce yourself to track driving. We had every form of weather. Everything that could go wrong with that truck did. It was my first time on a racetrack. It was most people's first time on a racetrack. So our goal for that weekend was just to survive.
Saturday morning, it was cold. We had the truck ready. We were all, I think, high spirits after passing tech. We get to the start of the race on Saturday. We go around and they wave the green flag and I put my foot down and everybody else just goes past me. And I'm like, all right, well, this is gonna be pretty consistent. I spent that first 30 minutes just like trying to not die, basically.
Joe went out, his windshield wiper broke. It was also the driver's side one, so we had a passenger side windshield wiper, but Joe couldn't see except for out the side of the truck.
Anytime you made a left-hand turn, the rear main seal decided that it didn't want the oil to be in the engine, it instead wanted the oil to be on top of the exhaust. A huge cloud of smoke would erupt through the cabin and out the back of the truck.
On the kind of downhill corkscrew at pit race. It dips down and then comes back up. I made the mistake of going from 4th to 5th instead of 4th to 3rd to get up that hill. I hit 5th gear right as I'm coming up and the motor stalls. I'm hanging up on an incline, foot on the brake and the clutch, and I'm just playing with the starter. And then, inevitably, I let off the brakes, put my foot slightly on the gas, and then started as I'm rolling back, and that fired it right up.
The truck had an exhaust leak at the headers somewhere. We don't know where, we don't know why, we don't know when it happened, and we don't know how long it was happening for. Even though all of the windows were gone and the back window was gone, we all got carbon monoxide poisoning. Everybody who drove for more than 45 minutes had a very, very massive headache.
Jacob came in feeling super out of it. We were like, oh, maybe he's just tired because it's been a shit show. And then the next day, I went and drove it, and I felt super out of it. And so we said, okay, stop the truck.
I remember getting off the track at like 4 or something whenever the day ended, going into the RV and lying down for 2 hours. I mean, I was knocked out.
Evan and I went and sat in an ambulance, I think, for about 4 hours on 50% oxygen, where we got yelled at by the EMTs in a very friendly way, but they were just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you still driving?
This truck had absolutely no shifter gates whatsoever. I mean, it was just like guesswork down here when you were trying to figure out what gear you were in. And that meant that it was really easy to do what's called money shifting, where you would try to go from 3rd to 4th, but instead you would go 3rd to 2nd.
No. Wait.
There's a great picture of the tally marks that we have on the side of the truck.
It was our first day racing. We were all shot. Max and I set out to just do an oil change on the truck. While at the same time, I think someone had been working the brakes, or I don't remember what the situation was. But for whatever reason, right, we jacked the truck up into the air and we took the wheels off. I drained the oil, put a new filter, whatever. After that, I said, like, all right, I want to cycle the oil in the engine. You know, we're here, whatever. So I get in the truck, clutch in, start the truck. All right, clutch out, and then it rolled. And then it fell off the jack stands, dropped straight onto the rotors, fell on the ground. We were just kind of standing there like, oh, shit.
You started the truck with the rear wheels still on the ground?
Yeah.
You should have made sure it was in neutral, man.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
No kidding.
I learned a lesson there.
Do you want to tell the story about that one brake caliper straight up not being connected? Do you not remember that?
I vaguely remember.
One of the front brake calipers was not bolted onto the car. It was
When?
It was floating.
It was floating.
When?
Saturday.
Yeah.
All of Saturday.
Yeah.
Pit race?
Yeah.
Fuck. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you know how it was all squirrely under braking on
Oh,
Saturday?
I
That
figured,
was
it's a
why.
Chevy.
Yeah, no.
You want me to say my name again?
Yeah, what's your name?
Alright, I'm Anna Pollen. I would say I was chosen. It was not a voluntary thing. I got out of my internship for my last year of grad school to go watch pit race, and that was an experience. I showed up as a full-on spectator to a team that was a hot mess. Everyone was yelling at each other. It was like pouring and hailing and windy at the same time, so the tent was flying away. I was immediately, I think, sent out on a part run, like as soon as I got there, and the weekend just kind of spiraled like that. So I ended up volunteering myself on board / being asked to come along on board to help make sure people don't nearly die.
The truck didn't run at all on Sunday because we got to the end of Saturday and we decided, like, okay, we're not going to subject ourselves to more pain. It's really not worth, like, we were in 95th place out of 110 people. It really wasn't worth running anymore. So we went go-karting instead on Sunday, and honestly, that was super fun. The pit race go-kart track is awesome. We wanted the truck to finish the race. So at, I think it was like half an hour or 20 minutes before they dropped the checkered flag, we got the ambulance on standby. We told them, okay, hey, we're going to send Max out in the truck for the last 20 minutes of the race. Can you be ready when he comes out? Because I know that he's gonna have carbon monoxide poisoning and I think he's gonna need to go into the ambulance. They were questioning our methods. They were already there. That's what they were there for, and nobody else had died, so they had nothing to do really. They were game. We sent Max out. I think it was for like 2 or 3 laps at the end of Sunday. He crossed the finish line. There's a great video of that truck crossing the finish line.
Let's go! Do it, Dale! Yeah!
Congratulations, buddy. You just kept outdoing me one, didn't you?
Do it for Dale! Let's go!
Max, say hi. Camera button.
To see Max drive that truck across the checkered flag, I was definitely surprised. That truck was gonna die in one way or another. To see it go under its own power was an exciting moment, at least for me. For someone who's never done any kind of autocross, track event, nothing else, like doing this was definitely a highlight for me. Then the award ceremony comes around. To hear that we won an award, I was expecting to walk out of there with more or less a list of lessons learned. I remember from that night, it was described as like the regional choice of a regional award.
The special trophy was the Unintimidator prize. They brought an S10, it was hella hoopty. They had a pretty good Dale Earnhardt team. One of their drivers had a really good Dale Earnhardt affect. They were very sweet. They were nice guys. Car was completely half-assed. The theme was like a quarter-ass.
I always tell people that was the best, worst weekend of my life, and I'm gonna keep telling people that as long as I live.
I think it was a great team building exercise.
He's being kind.
Yeah. I think you learned a lot of things that first time or beginners or rookies experience in the racing world, of things not to do the second time.
Thankfully, the rear main seal blew out so bad that we had to give it the Viking send-off that it deserved.
Can you expand on that?
No.
What is the Viking send-off?
Refuse to elaborate.
Cut to the Viking send-off.
Listen, Faust, I got a paper bag. No, it's an apple connector. Yeah, but what the hell's this?
It's just water.
Exactly what we wanted to see.
Yeah, after the race, one of the team came up to me and they're like, man, I don't know about this S10. We're thinking about another car, but it might be too high performance for Lemons. Is a Lincoln LS okay for Lemons?